No, self-education doesn't necessarily mean that you don't go to the university. Self-education is saying, along with the prescribed courses at the university, you have to do a certain amount of self-education. You have to take a certain amount of interest in yourself and as such study about yourself. The professors can do but so much for any of us. Much of it is going to have, first of all, your education doesn't take place in four walls of a university. Your training takes place there. Your education is going to come on the outside when you start to apply your training and acquire experience. It is said commonly the center of education, and of course we believe that we've got that. What we have fed is a series of facts or a series of evidence, and then we take these evidence and regurgitate the answer to those evidence. But when you go outside and you get your experience, it is really then that your education starts. So to self-education I meant that kind of education which you found in Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth and others. But don't stop your training in the college just for the self-education. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have done it for myself, and I wouldn't encourage anyone to do that. I take all ends. I read everything and that I could get my hand on. I don't care. If the Ku Klux Klan is passing out some literature in the morning, I'll get some. Because you don't know what your enemy thinking if you don't find out from him. So I read anything. I read the Ku Klux Klan. I read the Moral Majority. I read what's the one that the guy got shot down at the airplane there, John Birch Society writings, and also read the Jehovah's Witness and the Mormons. I read everything. Because I don't know which one going to kill me in the morning. All of them look crazy to me. The what? The ink and the what? Oh, the dollar? Oh, the green side of the American dollar with the pyramids and the sunbus and the eye of Horus. Well, if you recall, the first president of the United States, a terrorist by the name of George Washington. Oh yeah. According to the British, you still go on England, you see it written there, George Washington had 30,000 pounds on his head for terrorism. I'm talking about the murderer George Washington. The slave owner George Washington. You see, isn't it strange that we see Hitler as a bad man? But you know, Hitler didn't enslave one black American. George Washington did. George Washington sold black folks the day of his inauguration from molasses to Barbados. But he's a good man. You see, you don't want to reason because that may, you say, he's the president of my father, of my country. He ain't father, no country of mine. He has nothing to do with fatherhood of me. He's a slave master. Every one of them in the cabinet was slave masters except Benjamin Franklin, because he was a Quaker. And that's why he lost becoming the first president. But anyhow, Washington was a member of the Masonic group. And as such, when the first union was founded, it was founded, and the Masons were the strongest force and allied themselves as a common unit within the founding group. It is so that they, in looking for symbols for their money, they took Masonic symbols, the Masons who had adopted it, the Freemasons who had adopted the 22 tablets they stole from Egypt, from the mystery system, and carried to York, England, and established what they call York Rites with 22 degrees. Later, in Scotland, they added 11 more, call it the Scottish Rites. And the 11 degrees they call the Effable Rites, which put Christianity into Freemasonry where it has no business. And it is so that they decided to use those symbols, the pyramids or house of fire, the word in Greek means house of fire, the sunburst which symbolized the power and strength of God Ra, and the eye which symbolizes the Ujet, U-D-J-E-T, which is known as the ever-seen eye of Horus. That's the combination there. They did not stop there, because in the Supreme Court, the so-called Department of Justice, they then adopted from the scene of justice with Goddess Ma'at. Goddess Ma'at is shown with a crown on her head and a feather of truth. And there is the heart symbolically of Annie the scribe. And in the other part of the scale is a feather, and his heart is symbolically weighed against the feather of truth. And there Kepra is recording. Anubis is there ready to swat him if his heart isn't correct. That was adopted with a